Alright, so in this video we're going to be building an animated image slider with React, as well as a library called Framer Motion. So this is Framer Motion. This is something I came across more recently. In the past, for my animations, I've been using React, what's it called? React Spring mainly, and this is somewhat similar to that, but it's just very simple. So you can see not a lot there. So anyways, this is a nice little library. I thought we'd make a little video going over how to build something in it. So this is, if we come over here, this is what we're going to be building. Just pulled some images off of Unsplash, and we have some buttons. They got a little animation themselves, and then it's just a kind of image slider here. So got a little animation, fade in, fade out type stuff. All right, so that's about it. So let's get started here. So if you come over here, I just have a Create React app open. If you don't know how to do it, you go npx create React app, and then name your project, and that'll get you basically to the stage I am here. So there's an app.js. Oh, and then we've added a components folder here, and just an empty slider where we're going to write our component. But first, let's get rid of, I guess we can get rid of actually all this here, and we'll just bring in import slider. Okay, so we'll bring that in, and we'll just put it down here. So that should give us our slider, and then we can just go npm start, and that should get us up and running here in a sec. And that's going to give us an issue because we don't have any code in the slider. That's fine. So we can go back here, and let's actually build out this slider here. So first, before that, I'm just going to add some CSS to our app.css. So we can just get rid of all that here. And I'm just going to paste this in. This will be in the link in the description with the GitHub repo. So this will be there, so you don't have to watch me type this out. Don't have to watch me type in CSS, because it's not really, this video is not really about that. So let's go back to the slider over here, and let's get going with that. So we're gonna need a few things. Oh, the other thing we have in here actually is a images.js. So if I go over to that, I just have links to 3 different images from Unsplash, which are free. That again, this will be in the GitHub repo, and it's just an array of the 3 images. So that's fairly basic there. So we can start with a just a functional component here. So that'll do a slider for us here. Actually, sorry, that's a class-based one. What is it? RFC. Okay, and that'll get us going. Scaffold it up a little bit, and then we're going to want to bring in a few other things here. So we're going to import images from what was it? / images, and that's obviously okay. And then what else we need? We need to bring in React comma, and we need to use state. That's good. And then what else? So we haven't actually, I don't think I've added Framer Motion. So let's go npm install, and it's just framer-motion. Let that run. All right, so once that's done, we can get started. That's actually a pretty big package there, so it might have taken a while. Oh, and there's one more thing. We're gonna want some icons, so we're just gonna download some Font Awesome icons from that. So let's come over. This is the GitHub for Font Awesome for React. and we are just going to download here. We'll just copy this over. And we'll download that as well. Install that here. Give it a sec. Okay, so once that's done, I think that's all we need, so we can kind of close that for now. Give us a little more room. So now let's get into actually coding this up a little bit. So we're gonna come over here before the slider, and we're gonna go const, and we're gonna destructure here. We're going page and direction. And this is gonna help us decide for our actual slider which direction to go. And we'll go set page, and that's gonna equal use state, and we'll go 0, 0. Okay, so we do that, come down here, and what else do we need in here? Actually, let's stay above here. Then we're gonna go const image index, and that's gonna be equal to wrap. Oh, we gotta bring that in also, and that's gonna be 0, and then images dot length, and then the page. So that'll make more sense in a minute. So we actually got to bring in a couple more things here though. So let's go and import, what do we need? We need motion and animate, what is it? Presence. And that's from Framer Motion. So those are the Framer Motion packages we're going to be using. Okay, and then what else do we need? We need one other thing, and that's the wrap function. And that is coming from at pop motion slash popcorn. All right, so great. Let's come down a little bit here. And is there anything else we need in there? No, so now we need to do how we're gonna paginate our slider here. So let's go const paginate, and that's gonna be equal to the new direction. And here we're gonna set the page, and that's going to be to the page plus the new direction, and that's going to be new direction. Okay, so that's good. So this is how we're going to do pagination, switching between the different pages. We're going to pass in the new direction. We're going to set the page to the page plus the new direction. Okay, so then we can come down here and go in here, and let's just do a fragment right here, React fragment, and then we can go, let's see, and this is where we're going to use the animate presence, and the initial, that's going to be equal to false. It's not going to be animated initially. And custom, that's going to be the direction that we're passing in. Okay, and that's good. Let's go, and we can close that and bring that down. Okay, and then this is going to be the image that we're going to be animating. So we can do that by going motion. Actually, that's lowercase, motion.img. That's good. And then we got to add a key. We got to add a few properties actually. So the key is going to be equal to the page. Okay, the src, so this is to the actual image. So that's going to be equal to the images. So all the images, and then we're going to pass in the image index. So it's going to be equal to whatever the image index is of the images that we're passing in. Okay, custom again, we can do that, and that's going to be equal to direction. And then animate. And this is how you're going to animate each image individually. So we're going to animate them by going with an opacity. And that opacity is going to start at 0. And then, sorry, that's the second one. So that's actually going to be 1. That's where we're going to end up. And we're going to start by having an initial opacity, okay, and that's going to be 0. So the initial, where we're starting, our starting point is an opacity of 0, and then we're going to move to an opacity of 1, okay, and then we're going to go exit, and that's going to be its exit at opacity of 0. Okay, now this is what we're going to do for our transitions. And we can go like this, and you can play with these different values to change up how you want things done. So for the X, we're going to go, and it's going to be a type of spring. Okay, and there's a stiffness of 300 we're going to go, damping of 300, and an opacity of the duration of 1. Okay, I think that's good. Let's come down here, below this, and what else do we got? We got a drag, that's equal to X, and drag constraints, and that's going to be on the left side 0, and on the right side 0 as well. And then the elasticity, if I can say that, of the drag, drag elastic, and that's going to be equal to 1. All right, and then I think that's about it. So we can close that off there. Now, if we save that, let's see if that does anything for us. Let's go back over to our project here and see if there's anything. Okay, so we got this. So we can see the image is there. We can't click anything yet. We can't, our slider's not going or anything, but you can see like the drag elasticity is, that's like the settings that we set for that when we were just doing that at the end. So that's great. And now we're gonna wanna do some buttons. So we can do that by just coming below here, and we're gonna go motion.button. We can come down there, and then within this, we're gonna have a few different properties again. So I'll bring this up a little bit. Coming in here, and now this, you can change around all the different properties. So if you want to go, this is what we're doing, while hover, and that's one of them, and that is equal to scale of 1.2. So while it's in the hover state, you're gonna have a scale of 1.2. And what else we got? Let's give a little more room here. Scale 1.2, we can go transition. And that's gonna be of what? A duration of 0.5. So that'll be the time it takes. So 0.5 seconds. So we can save that. And then actually let's come back below this, not below that. So come back below that and then while tap. And that's going to be equal to, so while it's being tapped, that's going to be a scale of 0.9. So it'll scale down to 0.9. And then what else we got? We're just going to add a class name because some of the CSS I added relies on that. And that's going to be the next button. And then we're going to have an on click. And that is going to be equal to a function, arrow function here. And this is how we're going to handle pagination. So we're going to go paginate. That's how you spell that. And then toss in a 1. So that's going to, if we go back up to the top here where we did the pagination, if you remember, so we're calling paginate and then we're passing in 1 as the new direction. So when we're setting the page, it's going to go the page plus the new direction, which is 1. So it'll add 1 for the next. And then you'll see below, we're going to go -1 on the next one. Okay, so that's our motion button. Now we are actually going to want to bring in our font awesome stuff also. So at the very top, we want to bring in a few different things. So let's come here and we're going to go import and we're going to say font awesome icon. And that is from what? That is from @Fort Awesome. And that is React. That one. And then what else? We have a couple more. So copy those 2 down. And for the actual icons that we want FA arrow right and FA arrow left. Okay, and those are from different package here. So / free icons solid, I believe. That one. All right. Okay, so that's good. And then come down here again. And inside of our, in here, this is where we're going to add the actual icon for that. So the actual next button icon. And that is going to be, let's see, font awesome icon. And the icon we want is going to be FA arrow, which one, right? And what else do we need? And we're going to go give it a size property of, what is it? 2x. Okay, so that's good. Close that off here and save that. And then we can basically just copy this whole thing for the other button also. And motion button. So let's copy that down. And what do we need to change here? I think everything, our class name should be, we went prev, and then the paginate. So this is going to send us back a page. So we want to pass in a -1 instead of a +1 there. And then FA, we got to do a different arrow here. So that's going to be FA arrow left. Okay, 2x. And I think that's basically it. So let's go back and check this out, see if we messed everything up too bad. All right, so this is what we got right now. And we can see we got a little hover effect there. Super simple. And then if we click one, it's working forwards, and it is working backwards also. Now, and again, you can see like the drag effect too, which is kind of cool. It kind of whips back. Physics-based animations are pretty sweet. So let's, yeah, so that seems to work pretty well. So I guess that's about it for this. Obviously, anytime you want to play with these things, you can. So any of these transitions or anything, like we can change the duration to, let's go 0.2 and see what that does. So if we change that, it'll refresh, and then see how it's way faster, the transition. So that's kind of neat. You can play with the different things, the drag constraints, all these different things. So it's just kind of fun to mess around with. I haven't really used this on any applications before, but it seems like a very kind of neat package. I would suggest going and checking out some of the examples and just playing around. The only thing I would maybe caution somewhat about is it's a fairly large package size. So if that's something you're worried about, take that into consideration. But anyways, hopefully you liked the video. If you did, give it a like or maybe consider subscribing. And until the next one, thanks for watching.